Welcome to the Stevenson University Library Nursing tutorial on APA Citation. We've discussed many strategies for finding information, evaluating and synthesizing it, and turning it into well-written projects. The final element of academic and professional writing is citation. Techniques such as properly quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing with citations as necessary can be helpful when it's time to share information with others. And for academic projects, a list of references at the end of the project is almost always expected. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to quote, paraphrase, and summarize information from your sources and create in-text and reference list citations for articles using APA format. You did all that research, so now it's time to incorporate it into your project. 3 ways to incorporate other people's work are by quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing. Quoting is using a portion of someone else's work word for word without changing any of the original text. You should use quotes to highlight important language, succinct ideas, or an author's unique way of expressing something. Paraphrasing is taking a portion of someone else's work and putting it into your own words. Paraphrasing is generally used when you want to refer to sources that lead up to the point you are making or the work you are now doing. Summarizing consists of putting only the main points and ideas of a work into your own words. Summarizing is a broad overview of the source material and is significantly shorter than the original. Think of a summary as a condensed version of an author's central ideas. Anytime you use another person's words or ideas, you must cite them. This applies to quotations, paraphrases, and summaries. APA style is the most common citation style used for nursing. Remember, there are 2 types of citations that you must include for each source: in-text citations and reference list entries. The following examples will serve as a general guide to citing articles in APA format. The standard form for an in-text citation in APA style is author, last name, comma, date in parentheses. If you're using a word-for-word quotation, also called a direct quotation, you must also include information about the specific place in the source where the reader can find that information. For journal articles, this is usually P for page. If there are no page numbers, you can use para for paragraph. In-text citations can appear at the end of a sentence where a source was quoted. You can also break the in-text citation apart and use the author's name in the narrative of your writing. An in-text citation for a work with 2 authors includes both of their last names. In a narrative citation, you would spell out the word "and" rather than using an ampersand. According to Zhang and Zhang, 2021, Gene Watson's theory of human caring has broad implications for work in rural population-based care. An in-text citation for a work with 3 or more authors includes only the lead author's last name and the abbreviation et al., which stands for "and others." Some sources may have an organizational, corporate, or group author rather than an individual author. In those cases, use the name of the organization rather than the last name. The second type of citation that you must create for each source is the entry in the reference list. The entries in your reference list will include the full citation of all the sources you used. There are 5 main parts to a reference list entry: the author, date, title, publication information, and information about where you can find the source. The author's name is the first and most important part of the reference list entry. The author's name is written as last name, first initial, and middle initial if there is one. In the case of 2 to 20 authors, the names are written in the same format, separated by commas and a final ampersand. If you have 21 or more authors, list the first 19 authors, add an ellipsis, then include the name of the last author. There should be no more than 20 authors total in the citation. for a work whose author is an organization, group, or corporation, use the name of the organization. The date, if there is one, follows the author. The date is in parentheses, followed by a period. The year only is usually sufficient, but if a month or day exists, you can include that as well. If you've carefully checked the source and cannot find a date of publication, use the abbreviation N.D. in parentheses, which stands for no date. It isn't unusual for online sources not to have a date of publication. The source's title follows the date. In APA format, only the first word of the title and any subtitles are capitalized. One exception to this rule is a proper noun, such as a person's name or a place. Proper nouns are always capitalized no matter where they are in the title. Also, note that APA format does not include quotation marks around any titles in the reference list. The publication information follows the title. For journal articles, this includes the title of the periodical, the volume number, the issue number if there is one, and the page range where the article was originally published in the journal. In the journal title, all important words are capitalized, not just the first word of the title and subtitle. The title of the periodical and the volume number are italicized. The last element of the citation is where you can find the article. For journal articles, this is the Digital Object Identifier, or DOI, if there is one. If the article has a DOI, format it like a URL. If the article does not have a DOI, follow the guidance in your APA manual to determine if you should use a link to the publisher's website, a link to a library database, or neither. Altogether, your reference list entries should look something like this. Please note that these examples are an overview of how to commonly cite articles in APA format. You may have a source that doesn't fit the format perfectly, or you may be trying to cite a different type of source, such as a book chapter or a document from a website. For more information on APA citation, visit our citation guide at stevenson.libguides.com/APA style or contact a librarian. You should be ready to start your project now that you are familiar with how to quote, paraphrase, and summarize information from your sources, and create in-text and reference list citations for articles using APA format. Thanks for watching. Contact the library if you'd like assistance. If you'd like to share feedback on this tutorial, you can do so at the link or QR code on your screen.